I never said anything about water doing anything, Bev. Never mentioned water. Never mentioned water, Bev. You have a hard time listening. Bev, people on Twitter, more and more people on Twitter think that you suffer from an autistic mental condition. So, I'm going to ask you again. No, it's not. And you're using horizontal as a noun, and a horizontal is a verb. So, there's no use in that. That's a useless conversation. You see? Bev, you can't go anywhere, bro.
We're still on straight lines, aren't we?
Nope. You're not able to have a coherent conversation. I think that you suffer from I think that you suffer from autism, but not a severe case of it. And so I'm not trying to disparage you for being autistic. It's okay, but you need to recognize when your inability to make that connection between what's called a sequence of a conversation, and then your desire to have the conversation means something. Okay?
Can you see the live stream in your...
I'm not interested in the live stream. I'm recording this myself, and I'm posting this myself. And when I post this on Twitter, it is going to... Right, so...
I'll show you.
Bev, listen closely. Bev, listen closely. You can show whatever you want, but in the end, you can't contradict yourself and keep going. Okay? A line segment is the only thing that you can use to make a case about the shape of the earth, because the earth's shape is a limited distance. It's not the earth's shape is not infinite. Okay? So, I get it that you got to talk over me. And that's your routine. That's like your fallback plan. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work with me. Okay? So, let's get back to the conversation. 1, a line is not a line segment. 2, you cannot use a level tool. You cannot... I just said that. That's what I'm saying. I think that you suffer...
I'm just clarifying.
You don't need to clarify that. You don't need to clarify something that's already agreed. You're wasting time. You're interfering with the ability of the conversation to continue. No, what you're doing is you're interrupting the flow of a conversation with that. No one wants... I don't want to hear it back. I don't need that.
Line is not a line segment.
I don't need you to repeat what I already said. See, that's what I'm saying. You lack the ability to have a coherent conversation. Whenever there is a conversation and that conversation requires a flow, you tend to interrupt the flow. You interrupt the flow in Twitter, which is hard to do, but you're able to do that. And you certainly interrupt the flow when you're on a Discord. You don't know how to flow with the conversation. I've been accused of this myself, but I deliberately and consciously do it. Okay?
Say whatever shit you want.
I know, but you keep interrupting, and you're interrupting the flow. So,
when you say a line is not a line segment,
then you should say, yes, I agree, and then we move on to the next thing. You
just want to let me carry on with my flow of bullshit.
No, I just normal. Like if you say, okay, hey, Flatten, a line is not a line segment. I would respond by saying, yes, I agree. I wouldn't say a line is not a line segment. Like I don't need to repeat what you said because that's idiotic.
It's not a line segment.
We've already said that 5 times. Why are you saying it for the 6th time? Why is it if I say something, you got to repeat it? Because what? Listen to what you're saying. You just said the word because versus saying, yeah, that's a good point. I don't need to do that. That's how stupid this is.
Can you clarify the line?
No. You've gotten all the clarification you need. A line, I've already clarified it.
Part of a line.
Obviously, a segment is. It says line segment. It's understood to be that. What is wrong with you?
Right. So if the line is 1 mile, a line segment...
No, the line is not 1 mile. A line is infinite. The line segment is 1 mile.
Oh, right. But that's not a line.
So what?
The mile one isn't called a line.
So what? Okay, great. Big deal. Who cares?
Well, you just said it's not.
And?
Are you contradicting your own...
No, I'm not. Even if I misspoke and said line, so what? I know the difference between your concept of a line, which you're trying to use to apply to the horizon, and calling it a horizontal, because that's what you're doing. I get the trick that you're doing. Horizontal, you're using horizontal to describe a line, which is infinite. because it's a concept.
Straight
So you
line.
say horizontal,
And
but the
horizontal.
idea is that the horizon is not infinite. The horizon is a closed object, so it can be moved around,
Apparent position.
right, in a particular direction. Okay, but it cannot be an infinite object.
Yeah, it's like a rainbow.
Don't know what you're talking about, Bev.
It's not a place.
Don't. Well, then stop trying to. If you don't want to accept that a horizon is a place, then stop trying to use it in that context of a place.
Level
Okay.
and horizontal. That's all we need to deal with.
No, it is not all. No, it is not all we need to deal with.
Level and horizontal, and the relationship between them.
No, that is wrong. That is not sufficient. That is insufficient.
That's all I'm trying to find out.
Well, you're gonna come away with a limited understanding of the shape of the Earth because of it. Stutter.
Nobody's talking.
Stutter. I am. I'm talking about it yet. I'm talking about it yet.
Principles.
I'm talking about it yet.
Talking about.
Yeah. Well, those principles have to be applied to an understanding of what the point of the conversation is. The point of the conversation is to understand the shape of the Earth. Now, if you want to keep trying to talk over me in order to somehow make your case on your Discord that I'm silent while you're talking, I'm going to simply destroy that when I upload my version, my side, where I don't mute anyone. I don't mute you, you don't mute me, and you're talking and you're trying to talk over me, and it's going to be exposed that you're full of shit. It's line. Look at you. It's line. What's line? What's line, Bev? What's line? What is the it's? I don't care.
You are live.
I don't care.
Right.
So what? Good. Hi, everybody. Bev is making a fool of himself again, and he's using the mute button, probably or not, to try to make himself look smarter than he is. Hi, everybody. Live.
Just explain.
Live from Chicago. It's the Bev Idiot Show. All right. So can we get back to business here while you do your little live routine? The Earth is a sphere, and the horizon is curved. But the horizon, as you correctly state, is not an actual real object. It's just a visual phenomenon where the sky meets the Earth.
Position.
Okay, that's great. You have your own way of redefining it, but that's not necessary right now. There you go, interrupting again. So in any event, the shape, now watch this, audience. If we were living on a sphere, and we were standing on a sphere that's 27,000 miles in circumference, and we were only 6 feet tall, and we're standing on the surface of that sphere, we would see a horizon like we see right now. Out, when you stand outside, it would pretty much be the same thing. In fact, Bev, you could prove that with your knowledge. You could confirm that. And that being the case, that horizon would look straight. You would use a level. You would see it would be straight, and there would be no deviation there. Did you hear what I just said? If you lived on a sphere that is 24,000 miles in circumference, you would be standing at 6 feet tall on the surface, and you would see a straight line horizon. Yeah. If. Great. So what? If. And? What's your point?
Can we deal with what is now? Then?
Yes, I am dealing with what is, but you don't want to accept it. So I say if in order for you to proceed. So if we both agree that yes, if you lived on a sphere that is 24,000 miles in circumference, and you were standing on the surface at 6 feet tall, you would look out of the horizon of that sphere, and then you would see a straight line of a horizon. If you disagree, please tell me how it would look different.
Can we deal with what is?
We are dealing with what is. That is what is.
And what
Okay.
straight lines are.
So I'm gonna pause. That's debunk number 5 or debunk number 6. I think I debunked you 6 times. Hold on.